Welcome back. We're here with Jeremy from Don't Die at the Magnolia Independent Film Festival, year 27. Jeremy, do you want to tell us a little bit about your film?
Sure. So Don't Die is a Southern crime thriller, and it's about a young man who is desperate for life-saving medicine and can't afford it. And so he robs a drugstore and winds up on the run and tangled up in a black market pharmacy.
Yeah, so I actually was able to watch this one recently today, actually, which I always love to be able to do so I can ask vaguely intelligent questions. So here we go. I don't know how much I don't want to give spoilers away, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much you're wanting me to talk about, but I will say this movie kept me guessing. I was like, I got it figured out. It's going to be this. And then, oh, there's a left turn. Oh, there's a right turn. Where the hell are we? So there were a lot of little things where it changes your perception of the main character and of the other people, the supporting characters as well. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, or like?
Sure. Well, Ben and I, we want entertainment to be our top priority. You know, like we'd love for our films to have something to say, like a bit of a conversation piece that you could discuss with your friends afterwards. But the main thing is like no dull moments. Just we wanted to jump into the story and skip a lot of the setup that you might see in a longer feature film and just jump right into the action. And we didn't really intend to make it twisty necessarily, but we were hoping that it would go to some unpredictable places. And even in the writing process, we weren't sure where it was going to go. And we were kind of excited to see where the characters took us.
Yeah, it was really neat. So again, I don't want to give too much away. I will say and you can tell me to pull back if this opinion is too strong, but I really feel like this movie is somewhat of an indictment of the American healthcare system. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair to say. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to say everything's great.
No, absolutely not.
There's, and I will also say that we are not like pharmacology experts or anything like that. We're not presenting a solution.
Right.
We're just saying here's a perspective.
There's a sincere problem. Right.
Yes. We want to. Our goal is to present a perspective
right.
that addresses the problem. I'm hoping our elected officials can work on it more so than filmmakers.
Right.
But we wanted to do the sort of story that felt like you might read it on page 6 of the newspaper. Like, wow, someone robbed a pharmacy, and then there was a black market group like selling drug or giving away drugs for free. And it just sounded like something that was just strange enough to be real life.
Yeah.
And so
you mentioned that you didn't really intend for it to be kind of a twisty turny kind of a I don't know, sort of a shell game, but essentially like that group, can I just call them the name?
Counter,
the counter, right? So the counter, you start out thinking they're one thing, and then, let's just say, oh, good guys, oh, bad guys, oh, good guys, oh, bad guys, oh, what's going on? Wait, what?
Okay.
And it wasn't, not like there were 90 of them, but it was enough to keep you on your toes, in my opinion, which was really cool. Now, I want to ask, was it all shot in Tennessee? Because I know... Sorry, go ahead.
Sure, yeah. So most of it was shot in Tennessee. We had access to a location. Most of the film is shot on a hunting property that a friend of mine and Ben's owns, co-owns with another family. And she told us, hey, if y'all want to go shoot something when it's not hunting season and we're not up there, then go ahead. And so we said, really? Okay. How about 2 weeks?
That's very cool.
So she was very kind enough to let us go up there for a couple weeks and shoot in Tennessee. We had the one property that we kind of made it look like 3 or 4 different locations in the film. And we shot a few other things in Birmingham and in North Alabama as well. So there were a few pickups and some other days here and there, but that was our primary location, was in Tennessee.
And so the reason I asked that is because I'm just curious. Your previous movie, the movie last year, I'm sorry, I forget.
I did a presentation last year.
That's right.
But years ago, I did one on the Memphis Grizzlies, if that's what you're thinking of.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But you've shot in Mississippi before as well, right? Or no?
I've worked with Michael Williams on a couple things here in Mississippi. This was the first feature script of mine to be produced. So, like as far as short films and things, like that's mostly been Michael's world here. But Alabama has always been easiest for us for production.
Well, that's kind of where I was going too. I was just curious the differences in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, because I know Mississippi very much tries to kind of open the doors to Hollywood and be like, hey, come film here. We'll be very amenable to the process. So just curious about that.
y'all are very competitive here with your with the rates and the rebates and all that. If we could have shot here, I think it would have made a lot of financial sense.
Okay.
It was really just a practicality thing because we had the free location in Tennessee. We could have shot this film anywhere really because it's kind of a universal story. You know, it makes just as much sense for someone in Idaho as it does for someone in Tennessee or Alabama. But yeah, it was the sort of thing where the location kind of necessitated what we do as far as pre-production and setting things up with locations.
Right. Heather, you got any questions? I've been talking a lot.
So 2 weeks, y'all managed to wrap up your filming in 2 weeks.
So we did 12 and a half days of principal photography, and we did 3 days of pickups about a year later. So all in total, about 15 and a half, 16 days.
Wow, that's incredible. And what is the script writing process like for a film that large?
Sure. So Ben and I in the past have written things that we thought were going to be on a shootable budget, like a DIY sort of budget, and ended up being much more than we could afford. But with this one, we were determined to write something that we could go and make ourselves. And to do that, we started with the location. We did a location scout before we even started brainstorming the story. That was our very first step, actually. So we went to the property. We wandered around. The basement that you see in the film is actually the first creative spark. We said, like, this creepy, disgusting basement is such a great visual. And who is our hero? Why are they trapped down here? And what's keeping them from escaping? And so that kind of kicked off the creative ideas and the brainstorming because we already knew that we had a resource. We already knew that this location was ours to use. Not necessarily whenever we want, but we could get it for a couple weeks and make a production out of it. So the story just kind of went from there, and we wrote to as much of that location as we could, with, like I said, with a few other off-site things that we went and found. But yeah, it was actually. It may seem like a challenge to say, like, here's a property and write a story about that rather than just let your creative imagination run wild. But it was such a relief to know that whatever we were putting on the page is something that we could go and do ourselves.
Right, and that's also an interesting take that you really let your location dictate your story. So you found your location, then you went and you explored it, and then you guys came up with your story. So that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, very cool, very cool. Is there anything else you would like to say about the movie or just the MAG in general or anything?
Well, we're really excited to be here. This festival was high on our list. I've had films here before, done a presentation here last year on the making of this film, actually. So it's nice to come full circle a year later and have it be the Saturday night feature. And it's nice. I mean, these things take a lot of team effort and a lot of years of work. We started. Our first location scout was a month before COVID, if that gives you some context for how long we've been working on it. But this is our Mississippi premiere, and we're really glad that it's here in Starkville, where we've had a lot of connections over the years, a lot of friends that are here, and just people that we were really excited to see. And we're happy to be here.
All right, excellent. So one more time for the people at home, it's Don't Die with Jeremy.
Yes, Jeremy Burgess.
I apologize.
Yeah.
And you guys should check it out. It's great.